So you're moving through this cave. It's a single path that leads deeper and deeper into this mountain. The walls are sort of... they look to be cut in a way. It doesn't look of a natural formation. And as you travel deeper and deeper, unaffected by your ability to see, you can see pretty clear as day a figure sort of back against the wall, sort of hunched over a little bit.
I shoot at it.
You're going to shoot at it?
I'm going to shoot at it.
Okay, so you see this guy. You're going to just pull out your bow. Well, your bow's out. You're just going to knock an arrow and
I'm going to
take a
shoot
shot.
at it.
Okay, do an attack roll.
Oh, that's a 24.
Okay, roll damage.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
6 damage.
So you shoot true, and you shoot right at this thing, and you hit it sort of right up by the shoulder, not near the heart, but the right hand shoulder, and it lodges in, and this guy just sort of like his legs kick out from right under him, and he sort of lands on his butt, and Denon goes, "Boy, hold your fire," and he's gonna sort of charge up and meet this guy. He's gonna get down on one knee and check up on him. So as you approach, you are horrified to see Derrickson, arrow in his arm, in his shoulder, labored breathing. But even though he's been shot, and like that would be enough to put somebody through some trauma, you can kind of tell he's been through a bit of his own already. He's pretty injured. And he just looks at you and goes, "Bingle, you fool. What was that for?"
My name's Bingle. It's been calling me Bingle, you ass.
Whatever.
I'm joking.
Listen.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Here,
it's
and
okay.
I hand him some rabbit jerky.
Okay, he can't even lift his arm to get it.
Oh God, I'm embarrassed.
Listen. I tracked a man in here. I didn't hear from Erickson in the time we needed to swap our posts, so I found his body, and I tracked a man into the cave. I think he went to the left. He got the spring on me, though. He took a good chunk out of me, and I was sitting here for a moment to rest, but well, then you shot me.
I'm sorry about that.
So Denon's gonna look at you and sort of you're right now you're at an impasse between two paths. There's a path to the left and a path to the right. The path to the left, where from your perspective, you were told that the man went, is sort of kind of going down and takes a curve, whereas the path to the right sort of leads upward.
Okay, well, I want to ask Denon who did it to him.
I can only imagine it's the man I've been tracking, unless you've seen anyone else in these parts.
Oh, sorry, I meant Derrickson. There's a lot of D's, a lot of Erics.
Yeah, Denon, Derrickson. Denon sort of basically? you sort of ask the group, because you're still pretty off of your element here, and Derrickson says to Denon that explains that the man was wearing sort of either a cowl or some sort of cape, and that kind of activates something in Denon. He seems to think that they're on the right track. Denon is gonna start heading down towards the path.
The left one, right? Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
He doesn't say anything to you, however. He just sort of turns on his heels and starts walking.
I follow right behind him, bow still in hand.
Okay, so
while we're leaving, I call back. I say, I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
Are you gonna yell that?
I did.
Like, are you gonna say it to him as you're going by, or what?
I kind of. Well, I was already. Yeah, let's just say it to him.
Hold on, I need to do a secret roll here. Okay. So that happens, and Denon sort of turns on his heels and like puts his finger up to his mouth again, and then just kind of like
I go to look at him and I just go, oh God, I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
So he's gonna sort of pump his hand down a little bit, like slow down, and he's gonna start sneaking forward. Why don't you give me a stealth check?
Sure. That is an 11.
Okay. So the two of you are starting to stealthily move forward through this cave. The path that you're on takes sort of this wide bend and takes you deeper and deeper into the earth. And as you continue to fall, you notice that there's an odd light. It's sort of this unnatural light that you've never quite experienced before. It's this light purple hue, and the light sort of flickers and dances across the wall as you move further in, and you kind of come to the sort of the end of this bend in the path, and before you is a pretty sizable cavern. At one end of the cavern, there is probably the largest and most beautiful crystal you have ever seen, and it immediately just sort of fills your vision as it's sort of giving off the purple hue that was casting the light. You can kind of see that this is sort of all that's in this room. There's sort of a ledge that's a little bit higher up with what seems to be another entryway to it, but you can't really see a solid way of getting there, short of climbing as you walk in. But there's some boulders, some rocks otherwise in the room, and you see this gigantic crystal. And Denon is still in front of you, and you're in back at the entrance of this room.
Okay. I guess Bingle would, being with some dwarves, surely he would have some form of idea of magic. So I'd like to do an Arcana check on that crystal.
Okay. So roll it for me.
It's an 8.
As soon as you tap into begin to tap into the part of your mind that you sort of naturally developed to perceive magic. It's something you don't fully comprehend quite yet, since you didn't have like the formal training that maybe like your family would have given you of forest gnomes. You're just immediately like, it's kind of like a brain freeze almost. Like it's just this overwhelming surge of magical energy that consumes your mind.
Oh, so it is definitely magic.
Oh, it's super magic. Like this whole room is just breathing magic.
Okay.
And your vision actually for the briefest of moments gets a little foggy. But as you snap to, you barely miss in your haze, but you see sort of this like blur of emotion fall out and crash into Denon. And
a blur of emotion?
Yeah, it's like a blur, like this figure just kind of comes out of nowhere and crashes into Denon.
Okay.
Just in front of you.
Okay.
And yep. You see a humanoid figure brandishing a curved flat blade take a swing at Denon and take a little chip out of Denon's arm, pushing Denon over in the process. And I'm going to need you to roll me initiative.
Yes, sir. That's a 17.
All right.
Best roll so far.
Let's see here. You could have had the jump on this guy, but you decided to yell down the the hall, which
you know
echoed
what?
quite
You know
a
what?
bit.
We live and we learn.
You live and you learn. That's right. You may never make that mistake again.
Sometimes we accidentally shoot friends in the shoulder.
So you see Denon kind of get pushed over and roll to the floor after getting sliced out a bit. And top of the order, it is your turn. There's a man.
And I assume it's the dude in the brown robe.
Okay, so let me set the stage here. So you're in this cave. The cave itself is about 55 feet in length and probably about 50 feet in overall width.
So it's just a big ass cave.
Yeah, it's a big ass cave. It's sort of rectangular in its natural formation.
I suppose, is there light coming off of this crystal?
Yeah, there's a ton of light coming off of this crystal. You can see pretty well. It's sort of this like low natural hue, as it were. But it's sort of towards the back, just kind of glowing away, not really doing anything. The Denon was about 25 feet ahead of you, so about halfway into the cave while you were sort of racking from your pain, and the guy came out from the left and is towards his left side. So we're at the top of initiative order, and here we are.
Okay, so I draw my bow, but as a free action, before letting loose, I kind of look at Denon for approval before I let loose my arrow.
Oh yeah, he's already got his maul out. Like he got sort of like pushed back by this attack, and it is ready at attention as well.
All right, I just didn't want to make
it's go time.
Bingle just didn't want to make any other mistakes. Bingle lets loose an arrow right at this thing's fucking dome.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
It's an 18.
Ooh. Go ahead and roll damage.
7.
Okay. So the arrow sort of lodges its way into the thigh of the robed man, who now kind of sees your presence and sort of taken aback by the fact that you were there. He only sort of saw the dwarf at first.
Now he sees two.
Yes,
dwarves.
He's seeing double. He's going to kind of take a step back, and you can see in his hand a bright purple crystal, and he sort of squeezes that purple crystal, and coming up from the ground, these purple snaking tentacles sort of shoot up out of the ground, 2 of them. And
wow, it's my first episode and you're already going full sauciness.
Oh yeah, there's tentacles out the wazoo.
Look at this.
And the 2 tentacles sort of come out from the ground, and he sort of pockets the crystal again, and sort of takes a step back from Denon. Denon, seeing these tentacles and seeing the purple crystal and just seeing everything, he is quite upset at this situation, and he's going to take a swing. He's actually going to try to dome one of those tentacles out of the ground.
He's swinging at the tentacle. Okay.
So he takes a swing and manages to hit one of the tentacles sort of square in the center, and it sort of, you can hear this sort of kind of gross tearing sound as it bursts from the ground and just dissolves into sort of this poof of purple magic dust. And Denon, satisfied with the blow, takes a step sort of back and is now squared off against the man and the one remaining tentacle. But we're back at the top of the order, and it is your turn. It's all right.
Okay, I'm going to try and hit him again.
All right, so you're going to shoot at the man?
Yeah. That's a 14.
That is a hit.
And that's for 8 damage.
All right. So it is his turns now. One of the tentacles, the one remaining, is going to sort of dip in towards the ground and sort of disappear for a bit, but then bursts from the ground, not quite coming from the ground itself, but sort of just like shooting out of the ground, sort of moving through the ground as opposed to coming out of the ground. It is at your feet. And
fabulous.
It is going to attempt to spank you a little bit. Does an 11 hit your armor class?
Let me take a look there, Mott. Nope. Try again.
Okay, so it kind of like takes a swipe at you, but you sort of like lift your foot up and sort of nimbly dodge out of the way.
And I go, and Bingle goes, ugh.
Yeah, you're not feeling that. The man with the scimitar charges Denon and attempts to take a swing. Does so, but misses. Denon, sort of now prepared for the attack, kind of takes a step back. But another tentacle has kind of spawned to the right of the scimitar man. So Denon, now seeing how this fight is going, is going to pick up his maul and take a swing at the scimitar man that he is squaring off against. And as he does so, he is going to say, "You don't know what you're messing with, Hodrick." And he's going to take a swing. He hits. Boom, boom. For 9 damage. Okay. And Hodrick, the scimitar man, sort of takes this maul hit and sort of like tumbles onto the ground. You can tell he's not dead. He's sort of like reeling from the pain. But he's just going to kind of, he's sort of on his knees and says, This power will be mine, Denon. You cannot have it. And it is your turn.
I draw my bow back again.
Yep.
While aiming at, and I yell, yeah, you don't know what you're messing with, Hederick. And I shoot.
All right, you're gonna shoot at who?
Hederick. Whatever his name was.
Hodrick. Go ahead.
I'm gonna show you one or two, Hederick. Oh, that's a nat 20, baby.
Awesome.
That's a nat 20, baby.
Yeah, no, I know. That's gonna be a lot. How much damage?
I don't know. How do I figure that out? 1d8 plus 4 plus 6.
Just click the little damage button. 1d8. Yeah. When you crit, you roll your damage and then you roll an extra dice of, in your case it's a 1d8. So you roll that twice, but you only add your modifier once.
That's a 16.
All right. So you kind of like, you sort of like taunt Hodrick a little bit, and you can kind of see like Denon visibly cringe a little bit, but then you shoot your arrow and it just friggin' bodies Hodrick. He's sort of on the ground already, and you see that you aim. Your aim is true and sort of cracks him right above the where the neck and the skull meet, and it's just an absolute headshot, and he just like face down into the dirt. Down he goes.
That's for Bingle looks right at him and goes, "That's for Erickson, Hederick, you dick."
Okay. So he is now down. You still have 2 tentacles in the room.
Oh. Well, my turn ends.
Yeah. So the tentacles are going to attack in unison, and seeing that their master
so is there one? There's one still at my feet, right?
Yeah, it's gonna actually try to wrap around your leg.
Nope.
It crit fails.
It just kind of
Yeah, weakened by the loss of its master.
it wraps
It's sort
itself
of like
around itself.
yeah, it tries to wrap up around you, but like it sort of just slides right off, and it sort of becomes detached, and you kind of give it a kick, and the thing just sort of poofs into purple dust and disappears. And
I look at I look at Denim and I yell, "Oh! All you gotta do is kick him lightly."
So the other lash is going to do the same thing to Denon, try to wrap itself around, but it actually manages to do so, and grabs Denon by both of its legs and sort of with a heave attempts to pull him down. He's going to take it quick. Denon's sort of on the ground already, but he does manage to break himself free. He sort of kicks his feet out from the lash's grip, and doesn't get like the same purchase that you got on yours, but does manage to kick himself down. But he's on the ground. He is, though, kind of seeing that you were able to handily do so. It's now his turn. He is just gonna kind of kick his feet straight out. And no way. Oh no, awesome. Let's see. Actually it doesn't even matter. It's damaged enough. He manages to just kind of kick it as well. He's following your lead at this point.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, he
see?
just boots.
Bingle's learning.
He boots the thing and it puffs into dust. All right, and we're out of combat. You've solved my tentacle puzzle.
Excellent. I domed it right in the back of the skull. That was excellent.
So after the fight kind of subsides and things get back to normal,
we pull the hood back and it's it's Derrickson. You asshole.
You see the purple glow coming from the crystal kind of dim a little bit, and Denon sort of approaches the body of Hodrick and pulls the crystal out from his effects and is just kind of eyeing it over.
Okay, following his I'm gonna walk up to the body too, and I'm gonna just start rifling through it as well.
I fucking love this character. He says, "Oh boy, we may not be out of danger yet." And he crushes the crystal in his hand, and it sort of dissolves into a purple mist and sort of goes throughout the air. He kind of
Bingle holds his fucking breath, takes a big ass breath.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive sight. You've never seen anything like this.
No,
before.
I mean he does not want to breathe. He doesn't want to breathe.
Oh, you don't want to breathe
paranoid.
in the air. Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Did I find anything in the pockets of the robe?
Yeah, so you and Denon sort of come at it at the same time, and there's you sort of don't find anything crazy. There's some gold pieces. There's like 10 gold that you find. There's like a little journal which Denon just snatches from your hand, like and puts it into his sort of pouch. But otherwise there's like the scimitar. There's nothing going on in there.
Okay. Should I mark 10 gold anywhere?
Oh yeah, Denon's gonna let you take it. He doesn't care.
Okay, where do I put that?
You can go ahead and put that in your equipment. You see GP, all the different versions of that. I'm not gonna micromanage like, Okay,
I
the
see.
exchange rate of gold to platinum is this.
Oh, I see.
No,
No, I
it's
see.
just gold
10
is
gold. Got it.
the tenor. So yeah, you get $10 out of this.
Ooh, and I
And
got a full 50 feet of hemp rope.
yes, you do. You have some rope.
Hemp rope.
Yeah, blaze it up, man. So Denon looks at you and says, "Boy, you did well. I wasn't sure of your ranging abilities when we were in search for here, but Marin has quite the archer on their side." He kind of gives you a pat in the back.
And I think I only missed one shot in this
Yeah, you
man's
only
presence.
missed the wolf once.
Yeah, and that first shot was you didn't even notice, I don't think.
No, I mean he knew you were there because you yelled at him, but
Right.
otherwise, right?
Right on. Yeah, I kind of just smile at him and twirl my mustache.
All right. He says, he kind of looks down at Hodrick and he says, this man stole this crystal, this terrible, terrible magic from one of the houses of Breakwater, one of the lumber lords, and it's a magic no man should have in the first place, and it shouldn't even be wielded in this form. And he kind of like kicks at a pile of lash of the little tentacle dust, but then he kind of turns his attention to the gigantic crystal in front of you, and he says, "Nor should it be allowed to exist in its natural state either." And he says, "Stand back." And he is gonna wind up and take a swing at this big ass crystal.
Oh, jeez.
What are you gonna do?
Shield my eyes.
Okay. So he takes a smash of this thing, and you don't quite see what happens, but there is a noticeable flash of bright purple light that even kind of pierces through your fingers, covering your eyes. Okay. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 16.
Okay. So as this purple crystal gets shattered by Denon's maul, despite you like shutting your eyes as much as you can and covering them with your hands, your vision still is completely wiped by purple, and you see before your eyes an island in a totally foreign area. There's ocean on all sides, and there's this island, and you're sort of above it, sort of floating, and it just as soon as you kind of get a solid look at it, it snaps into a strange looking forest with these tall sort of piney trees, and then there's another cut to a village with people who look very upset or otherwise distressed, and then there's a cut to a mountain, and you're sort of falling into this gigantic hole with a smoke sort of spewing out of it, a fog spewing out of it, and you fall into this hole, and then it cuts again, and you're back in the cave. But you're in a different part of the cave. You're actually propped up next to Derrickson, who is still trying to tend to his wound, as Denon is sort of standing above you, tending to both of you.
Whoa. Okay. So am I fully about my wits now?
Yeah. You're sort of you're pinned up against the wall next to Derrickson, who no longer has the arrow in his arm, but like is kind of very roughly bandaged up, but resting otherwise.
Okay, I want to ask Denon what happened.
I sorry, I should have warned you. I shattered the crystal. It's a dark, chaotic magic that exists. Well, the details aren't important. I destroyed it, and it seems that the resulting energy seemed to knock you off your feet a bit there. But
did you see the mountain and the forest and stuff too?
A mountain, forest.
Yeah, I saw
what
it.
Are you talking
it was
about?
purple, and then mountain, and then forest.
A mountain and a forest.
Okay, forget about it. Derrickson, how you doing, pal? You should have seen. I domed that dude so good.
And he kind of coughs a little bit. And he's like, "Yeah, Denon here told me. He also told me that he was able to get the jump on you because you shouted at me."
Yeah, Denon's. I lean in close to Derrickson. I lean in close. And I just go, Denon's a filthy fucking liar.
Derrickson kind of chuckles at that. He appreciates it. He knows what's up with you. Like, he knows that you're green and that you just came, but he did hear about like the impressive shots that you've been taking. Like, Denon didn't leave you out to dry on that one. So he's able to get up onto his own 2 feet, and Denon sort of helps you up and motions to start leaving the cave. And he says, "Listen, boy, tell me everything you can of these visions you saw. What did you see?"
I'll tell him everything, all the ones that I saw. I don't remember all of them, what you said, but I'll tell them all the ones in the best detail that Bingle can give.
Yeah. So you explained to him exactly what I said to you, and Denon sort of sits there and ponders for a bit, and he's actually pretty silent for the rest of your trip. Derrickson, being the superior officer, actually leads you back to his sort of encampment, the Northern Lodge, where you can rest and recuperate. He tends to his wounds with sort of the better medical equipment that's at the lodge, but is otherwise filing paperwork. He had sent you out as you left the cave to recover the body of Erickson. So like you and Denon sort of helped recover that and get it back to the lodge and get it squared away. So he's sort of filtering out paperwork when Denon approaches you with a piece of paper sealed with a red wax with and D sort of embroidered onto it. And he says, "Listen, your life won't change much from what you've seen today, but know this: the forces that we saw here today are not ones easily dealt with, and you did a great job of helping me fight against it, and I may need you in the future. There may be a day where someone approaches you and references the letter of which I'm handing you now." And he's doing all of this, by the way, completely out of the earshot of Derrickson. Like, Derrickson's off on his own. When that day comes, it's totally up to you as to whether you come or not, but I will need you, and I will need your help. You can fight with us. With that, he kind of, not waiting for a response from you, sort of immediately turns, says something quick to Derrickson, who seems to protest a little bit, but he walks out of the lodge and leaves, and Derrickson kind of goes over to you and questions you about your adventure for the day. Would you give him all of the information?
Derrickson?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so you...
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about it.
Yeah.
because it was like my first that was exciting, right? And we made it, we survived. But I do, I express my apologies about his brother.
Yeah, and he's appreciative of that. He's gonna fill out the incident report, and send for some replacements. Do you tell him about Laud? He's gonna ask you about Laud and where Laud is.
Oh wow. I completely forgot about Laud.
I'm gonna imagine that you actually say that out loud.
Yeah. I have no idea. He left. He just kind of left. I actually, now that you mention it, I completely forgot he was. Where the fuck is Laud?
He writes down on the paper supply run, more than likely, in parentheses. But yeah, he's pretty satisfied. Are you going to tell him?
I ask him if he wants help giving his brother a good dwarven burial.
He says he says no. They're going to get some replacements sent out here, and then he's going to go home and take care of the services himself. But he appreciates it. He knows you're just trying to help. But yeah, all is
yeah,
resolved.
No, I don't. To answer your question, I don't. I'm assuming you wanted to know. I do not tell him about the letter. I just kind of put the letter in my.
You're gonna keep that one close to your
Put
chest.
it in my tunic.
All right,
in my bag.
Fine.
I don't even open it.
Okay. Yeah. You keep the seal sealed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm more Bingle. He's more just sort of inside. He's actually kind of giddy because he was kind of hoping. He was kind of hoping for a little. He's only just realizing that he kind of wanted a little bit of adventure.
Yeah,
exciting.
Yeah, he's had his first taste,
and he tasted his first wicked ass boom headshot, and he's really
you definitely all of your poor rolls finally paid off
when it counted.
Yep. So that is going to actually do it for the adventure. You solved my mountain
Bingle.
puzzle.
Right on.
Awesome.